Hey everybody, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be unboxing and reviewing She-Hulk from the Disney Plus series. Now, this one actually, of course, has the likeness of the actor, Tatiana something. I don't remember her name, so do it in post. And in these reviews, we're always going to do an overview, then we look at detail, articulation, and posing, followed up with a nice rating. Let's get into it. So right off the bat, as we can see, it has the plastic window so we can actually see the figure, which is the preferred method for a lot of people versus the plastic-free packaging. And you can kind of see why. I mean, this presentation is certainly better than something like this Spider-Man one. Oof. But as you can see on the side here, we have the artwork, which was for this and a lot of the promo pieces. This is actually done by a collaboration of at least 3 people. So I'm gonna put that information right here on the screen. As you can see, they all played different parts in this, and some of them had to kind of do the final touch to get it ready for print work. That's both sides on the back. Lots of information, it appears, but it's usually just multiple languages. So it's really just this small section here, and then, a couple pieces and like some safety, attention, warnings and things about safety or whatever. But here we have the back of the box, obviously with the same artwork from the sides, just in a fuller scale. And it is part of a Build-a-figure for the Infinity Ultron. So if you get this whole series, this Moon Knight is the only one that doesn't come with a piece. You got to get the rest to find all of those pieces. And some extra little bits here in different languages. And nobody really cares about the safety stuff, right? No, not good for under 3, but it is good for 4-year-olds, which is kind of surprising because I think even that is probably a safety hazard for small children. And a little bit of information here on the bottom of the box, and then this logo on the top. Without further ado, let's open it up and get an overview of what's inside. These packages are certainly very easy to open. That's it. Done. Very, very simple. In the plastic shell, we can see that there are a couple hands, this part for Infinity Ultron, and then Jennifer Walters for She-Hulk herself. That's it. And in this video, I'm going to do my best to present this in this direction on this other camera because it is kind of more like I'm showing it to you, but might be a little disorienting with the camera and stuff. We'll see how we do. So, overview of the figure. I mean, it's pretty much straight out of the show, which is great. So you get the sneakers, you get her outfit from the, the last couple episodes, spoiler alert. And then, of course, the hair. This leg from Ultron actually looks pretty nice. Pretty high reflection, so it's got that nice kind of chrome-ish metal, I guess, like a glossed metal, whatever. And then her 2 fists, which is great because these hands are kind of, I guess if you want to do the clap or whatever, but these are so flat and spread out, I don't know what you would really do with those hands. So let's get into details. And most of the time with the details of these figures are not super high in paint work and more so in the sculpt work. So if you can see, like with the face, you really get the likeness in there, at least as Jennifer Walters or the actress Tatiana something, forgot. You get her likeness, at least as the She-Hulk version. And I really wonder if they would make the Jennifer Walters like in regular form as a figure. I think that'd be pretty cool. It'd be a nice combo, especially if they made a 2-pack and you got both of them in the box. That way they were wearing the same outfit. Toy photographers, collectors, I think would enjoy having both versions. So details, again, really down in the sculpting. A lot of etch work into the outfit itself. In the hair, they never mess around with the hair. It's always good, even when it's the animated stuff. But yeah, details, great. Textures are awesome. Paintwork's just generally, just looks like a toy, which is really the downside. I understand that they're toys, but man, the quality that you get from brands like NECA, where it's super realistic, I think would be awesome to have from Hasbro. Imagine the stuff that they put out and the characters and the rights that they have access to, but with the detail and even the size. I'd prefer a 7-inch figure that you get out of NECA. I think, man, it'd be awesome. I really would enjoy these figures with high detail in the paint as well. The sculptors are always going the extra mile with this stuff. I mean, the shoes even have nice little crisp details in there. I mean, look at that. My biggest question so far is going to be her height compared to other characters. The muscle work is good. Looks like she's got some extra joints, which is always a plus. So that is going to do it with her details. So let's look at the extra hands. So great sculpt work. That's really all there is to say about it. Not a whole lot in the paint. It's literally just green plastic. And then might as well look at the detail here of this Build-a-figure for Ultron. Paint work is not great. Look at that. Totally missed that part. Looks so cheap. This yellow looks so bad. But this high gloss plastic like gray is cool. But yeah, that's pretty awful. So, well, if you're gonna build your Ultron, at least you get double knees. So that's it on details. Pretty straightforward. Let's jump into articulation. Now, pretty much anybody that's got big head of hair like this is gonna have problems looking around. So let's see what we get as far as turning. So when we're turning the head, it's forcing this kind of her chin to go down. So you can't, the hair is just pushing her head to look downward a little bit. So I can't, yeah, see how that works? But you can get a decent turn to the right. The turning to the left is kind of weird. So tilting the head downward, kind of. And then there's obviously, you can't look up at all. So she's not gonna be able to do that superhero landing pose. Can we tilt the head a little bit? Yeah, not too bad. I mean, the hair does obviously stop it, but could certainly be better. Well, could be better, but probably impossible to be better with a head of hair like this. So the arms, obviously, you can kind of see that they're gonna have no problems going all the way up and back around. And then this outward and the T pose is great, so she can go pretty far up. So the shoulder joint is gonna rotate. Then you have this bicep articulation, which is awesome. And then we have double jointed elbows. They do look a little bit goofy, but double jointed elbows are superior for sure. And you can always find like a, good compromise, but her articulation is already top notch. There's no rotation here around the forearm or elbow, which is fine because you get it up here. And then the wrists, obviously. And then you get the typical 90 degree. And as you can see here, she's got this upper half that's gonna rotate. And then you can kind of get some crunch work in there. And then like this kind of crazy back bend. So she's pretty good on splits with the legs. And as we saw, the rotation here at the thigh. And then what do we got? Forward all the way, and backwards is just a little bit beyond straight down. The knees are double jointed, which is always good. We've got the ankles, which are pretty simple, just the kind of standard that we see on everything. High top sneakers are gonna stop her because they're gonna hit across the leg there, but I mean, that's kind of a more natural bend. But the straight down is perfect. So that's it. Articulation. Let's go ahead and swap out the hands. Do they look a little small, or is it just me? That looks a little small, right? I don't know if it's coming across that way in the camera or not, but the fist looks tiny compared to the hands. So I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Are these hands different sizes? Are the fists smaller? That's so strange. So that's it on articulation. Now let's get into posing. So when it comes to rating She-Hulk, I mean, it's like we said, the sculpt work is great. The paint job could always be better, especially around the shoulder area. That green just doesn't match up because it's clearly paint versus green plastic. But when it comes down to details, I think we'll give her a nice 4 out of 5. Again, it just like classic Hasbro Marvel Legends, it really just comes down to the paint falling behind, but her likeness is really, really good. Articulation across the entire body is awesome. It's everything you could want in articulation, minus the head. You really can't get any movements, and then when you push the head into a certain area, the hair just kind of slowly pushes it right back. So she really just looks forward and can barely look down once you're actually into the posing stage. So I think with articulation, we'll just have to give her a 4 out of 5, which I think is pretty solid. And that leads us to posing. And we saw some really cool, fun stuff here, I think. The limitations really just come down to which way you can move her head. She can almost do a perfect superhero landing pose, but the head, you just can't get that tilt upward that you would really, really want. But I'm gonna give her a great 4 out of 5 on posing, because it really is altogether great because of all that articulation. So there we have it with Jennifer Walters, or She-Hulk as she's called. And I think, yeah, this is pretty good. This is, you know, as far as the series goes, her height is more than I thought just by looking at her in the package, and even having her in my hands. But getting her next to a couple of the other Marvel Cinematic Universe characters, her height is certainly there. I would like to know if it's a true one-to-one in comparison to the way she looks to everybody else. So there we have it. There are the scores and the overall score. And I think this is one that is certainly worth grabbing. I mean, the Cinematic Universe, to me, from what I've seen, it's a hit or miss. It's not always what I would expect, but I think because of her coloring, even on the show, it is kind of a fair, true representation. Maybe the paintwork could be better on something like this. I always want their stuff to be better in the paint department, but I think, you know, the likeness is certainly there, the hair and everything. Yeah, I mean, if you're already getting, especially Cinematic Universe stuff, she's a must-have. The show, while not for everybody, I thought was good. It's different, and the more it makes these crybabies cry that there's a female lead or anything to do with women, the more they cry, the better. So what are your thoughts? Is this one that you want to put in your collection? Does this review help you make that decision at all? Definitely grab her at a retail-friendly pricing if you possibly can. I think we're still in that window where she's going to be on the shelf where you can order from Hasbro, Pulse, and probably Disney. If you've seen this video later or you just can't find her anywhere, I think she's even still worth like 30 bucks if you get into that price range. 30, 32, 35 if you really want to push it. I mean, I prefer my $32 pricing to be the NECA stuff because the detail work is spectacular, even with paint. But in this space, I think she can hold a little bit more value in what she's got going on. Good choice. I don't know what other accessories I would really want from her, other than a 2-pack of her with her Jennifer Walters human form, regular version. I think that would be awesome. You have the two of them, maybe in her lawyer clothing, and then the She-Hulk version where she kind of grew out, and, you know, maybe do you do the early episodes where it ripped her clothes a little bit and has that very kind of Hulk look, or do you have it later on where her specialized clothing that allowed her to work between the two characters without destroying her clothes? Thanks so much for watching. And since I don't shut up about NECA pretty much ever, then watch this video here to see what I'm really talking about when it comes to paintwork and detail work. That is a figure you gotta own. We'll see you next time.